Hey everyone, today's topic is recruiting with confidence, and I've invited special guest Melissa Galamay to speak with us today. She is a 2015 five-star elite coach. She is a wife, mommy of three beautiful little children, and one of my closest friends. We talk almost every day, and she really inspires me to push hard towards my goals and be better. And I couldn't have picked a better person to talk about this topic for us, for our team, because it's crazy to think it's only March and she has already added 25 new coaches to her team this year. That's right, 25 new coaches in just 3 months. That is like almost as many as I added in the whole year last year. So definitely looking forward to hearing your tips and best practices. For sure. We can't wait to hear from you. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gabri. And if you get to a point where you feel like you want to dig in and ask more questions, please prompt me because I have a tendency to ramble, as you know. So as Gabri said, my name is Melissa Galamay. I live in Northern California, and I've been a coach for just over 2 years now. Gabri and I share the same upline coach. And that's how we really started to build a relationship after we met the first year at Summit in Las Vegas. And so I want to give you a little backstory and let you know that I didn't always feel like I was a strong recruiter. Although I hit diamond in 90 days, I really stayed there for quite a while, and I didn't do anything with that. And I would drop in and out of diamond with going back and forth to Ruby. So some of the things that have really helped me change things around this year, last year my team hit elite, and to be perfectly honest, I didn't even realize that we were going to be able to accomplish that goal because it wasn't something that I really understood. And so at Summit last year, I made a decision that I was really going to push for it. And I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I just knew it was something that I wanted to do. And so I started working pretty closely with my upline and putting together some different ideas. And one of the things that she told me was that onboarding new coaches was going to be really critical, and that I needed to increase the amount of coaches that I was adding each month. And so last year, I think I added 36 people to my team total, which was great. I was excited about that. We have a really strong foundation. And this year, I knew that if I wanted to continue to grow and hit elite this year, that I was really going to need to step my game up. And so it first started with believing in myself and knowing that I could do it. And so how did that happen? Because I'm someone who struggles with having that self-confidence and really sitting in that self-doubt pool and questioning if I'm worthy of things. And so personal development, guys, is critical to your success. There's tons of books, and one that I always recommend is You Are a Badass. That book was, I read it 3 times, and it really changed my perspective on the way that I thought about myself, my past, the things that I deserved. But there's a couple other books I'm going to recommend to you. Another one is The Energy Bus. That one is really talking about getting your team excited, the people around you excited, really just the energy that you're putting out and you're putting back in. It is amazing. I recommend, if you're like me and you get a little bit scattered and have your mind racing, to listen to things on audio, because I'm able to multitask with the kids or get laundry done or drive and still get that personal development time in. Another one is, bear with me for a second because I'm trying to think of the name. Go Giver. That one is really amazing, and it just talks about giving yourself to other people and being a servant leader. And I didn't really think that I was going to like that book because it was narrated, and I'm not really a narrated type of person. Like, I just know. But it was really, really great. There was tons of great tips that I was able to walk away and immediately implement. So that takes me to my next step. When you're getting on calls and you're listening to the National Wake Up Call, or you're doing team trainings and you walk away and you're like, wow, that was really amazing content. That person's so inspiring. I'm amazed. Guys, those are nuggets to put into your business. So when you go to these trainings, or you go to Summit, or you go to Super Saturday, or you get on these team calls and you leave feeling energized and hear all these great things, I want you to put those things into action. That was something that I was doing. I was sitting there and saying, oh gosh, that national wake up call was so great. These people are so successful. I wish I could be like them. But then I wasn't doing anything with the information. And so that's a huge piece, is when you hear something that's working for someone, go out and try it. It may not be exactly how that person did it, because we don't want to be the same as everyone else, right? We don't want to compare ourselves to other people. We don't want to get into that place where we're being copycats, because then we're not going to come off as genuine or real. But when you are able to be authentic and share yourself and utilize those ideas, I promise you, you will see success, because I do it all the time. So we talked about belief in yourself, implementing what you're seeing. So let's talk about your social media. So that's how I've built my entire business. I'm not a big Instagrammer. I'm not a big Twitter. My sole business has been built off of Facebook and word of mouth. And so what am I doing on Facebook? Well, I'm posting at minimum 3 to 5 times per day. Yesterday I looked and I realized I had posted 10 times, and I was like, oh, maybe that was a little bit much yesterday, but I have so much to say. I'm very cautious about what I'm posting and if it's going to add value to people's lives. So getting on Facebook and talking about how crappy life is, and that you always have a rain cloud following you, that's not going to inspire people to want to follow you. You want to post about positive things. I share basically everything going on in my life. I talk about my kids. I was diagnosed with RA over the summer. So for those of you that don't know, that's rheumatoid arthritis. So that was a whole nother market now that I'm tapping into, is people with autoimmune disease. I'm a mother of 3. We're in sports like crazy. I was able to fire my boss and walk away from my full-time job. I brag on my team anytime I get an opportunity to. So not just about rank advancements or things like that, but putting together those volume reports or Success Club reports and tagging your team in it, or your account or your success partners. If you have challengers who are just killing it and have these great transformation, obviously with permission, sharing those results on social media, because that's what people are looking for. They're watching to see what you're doing. And a lot of people, even though we're adults, a lot of people they don't have someone in their corner who's being a cheerleader for them and that's supporting them. And so if you're platforming yourself on social media and saying, hey, I'm going to be here with you from the beginning to the end, whether you buy something from me or not, people want to be a part of that. Think back to when you were in grade school, if you were involved in sports clubs or Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, whatever that looks like, you were a part of something, you were part of a team. Or flip side, if you've never had that and you always wanted that, and now you as an adult are finding that with people who are just like you, who are just trying to find a better way to feel better about themselves, to get out of debt, to be financially free. Share how Beachbody has impacted your life. And I don't care if you've been a coach for 1 day or 1 year. Beachbody has impacted your life some way, because you maybe have been following your coach or somebody on social media, or you've been drinking Shakeology for 30 days and now you've lost 10 pounds or lowered your cholesterol. Those are all ways that you can share. You don't need to sign up as a coach and then just vomit Beachbody all over your Facebook. One thing that I am very strong about is not using stock sales photos, because that will come off as very salesy. So at least 3 times a week, here are the things that I like to post about. A business opportunity. So that means that I have an opportunity for you to join my team and I want to talk to you more about it. I run a 3-day sneak peek 1 time a month. This month I'm actually doing 2, because we just got off the Success Club trip. So I'm doing 1 next week. And I do those as public sneak peeks. So even if people are not in that group, it still shows up in their timeline when other people are commenting on it. So they can see that. So that's the first one. The other one, I'm making posts about joining my next challenge group. So if you're not asking people to join these things, then they're not going to know that you're even doing them. And I'm not sure if you know how Facebook works, but if you're not getting lots of likes and comments and things like that in your newsfeed, then it's not going to show up in other people's. And so my suggestion for you is to go to 5 to 10 people's page per day and comment on their material, wish them a happy birthday, like their pictures, start a conversation of some sort. So that way now you are showing up in their newsfeed as well. The other thing that I'm doing is just talking about how this opportunity has changed my life. So that's the third part. I am talking about how I was able to quit my job after 15 months and come home to my kids, how I'm working to be financially free, how my husband and I have never been able to take a vacation before, and now we travel. I mean, this year alone, we went to Nashville last year. We went to LA this year. We just got back from a 5-day all expense paid cruise. So, and we're getting ready to go to Nashville again. We'll be going to LA for leadership in October. These are all things that we wouldn't have been able to do with my past job. 1, financially, it's hard. 2, asking for time off is just out of the question. Like putting in that much time for vacations. And there's other people in your newsfeed who are feeling those same way. So if you're not sharing those things with them, they can't relate to you. So what I'm getting to is just sharing your life and being real and giving people hope that they can do it as well. Because it's not rocket science. It may be uncomfortable, but it's definitely something that everyone can do. The next part's probably going to make you feel really uncomfortable, but it's absolutely necessary if you're serious about growing your business. You have to go out of your or your warm market. What do I mean by warm market? Your warm market are the people who are on your friends list already. They're your children's friends. They're your immediate family, your acquaintances from school. All those people are in your warm market. It's time to step outside your comfort zone and start friending people you don't know. In Facebook, you can go on and search common interests. So maybe you like cooking, or maybe you are a carpool mom. Maybe you are a scrapbooker, or you're in a horse association. You can search all those things and find people like that. My suggestion is see people who have friends in common. So if Gabri wasn't a coach and she's on my friends list, and it shows that we have 15 friends in common, and I see that she's a mom and she's got this big smiley face, and I go to her news feed and I don't see a bunch of depressing things or negative things, I'm going to send her a friend request. And what do I mean by negative things? I mean like things that wouldn't interest me, like drugs and things like that. But if somebody's on their Facebook saying, geez, I can't wait for Friday, or I can't believe it's Monday again, or I'm so sick and tired of dropping my kids off at daycare, or I wish we could get ahead in life, or I'm tired of being tired. Those people are asking for our help without asking for our help. And you may invite them and they may never accept your friend request, but that's your opportunity to reach out to them in a couple days, write their name down and say, hey, Gabri, it looks like we have 15 friends in common. I wanted to take an opportunity to introduce myself. My name's Melissa. I'm always looking to expand my network, and I was wondering if you would like to touch base. I saw that you are stressed for time. I have some easy crock pot meals that might be helpful to a busy mom like you. And that's just a simple way to start building a relationship with someone and not sound like a creeper. And Gabri may say, yes, let's be friends and let me get those recipes. Or she might be like, nope, I don't add people who are not on my friends list, or she might just ignore it. It happens to all of us. But don't take it personally. That's the other part of it. If you're not comfortable with hearing no, that tells me you haven't asked enough. So making sure you're constantly expanding your friends list. The other thing is when you're out and about, starting conversations with people. You would be so surprised at how many people are willing to have that two-way conversation. And it could just be simple things. You're in the grocery line and people are like, oh, what are you making? And you can talk about a clean eating group you're doing. Maybe you don't even have a clean eating group, but you're going to tell them you do. So that way it strikes a conversation. I like to have business cards on me all the time. And I'll leave it with checkers, or if I'm out and about anywhere. Sorry, so that's another reason why wear and share is a good idea. So adding your friends list, doing your wear and share, meeting people out in public. Don't be afraid to say hello and smile at someone. It can go a really long way. It's sports season, so you're going to be at the ball field for those of you that have children who are playing sports. And that's a great opportunity to meet other people. My husband was just talking to someone because we had just got back from the cruise. And if you're friends with me, you saw that I blew up my news feed. And I did that for a reason. I wanted people to see that average people just like us had freedom to take this trip. And we were in all these amazing places. And so one of my son's coaches was like, oh, how was your guys' trip? And my husband was like, it was amazing, blah, blah. I talked it up about Beachbody. And he was like, well, maybe I need to be a coach. And so that got my husband's wheels turning, saying, well, maybe I should really look into this coaching thing. So really, it's just about being yourself, guys, and don't overcomplicate things. You are unique and you are wonderful, but you have to remember that. And it goes back to number one, and that's believing in yourself. So when you're reaching out to these people, having the confidence that you have a solution to improve your life. So change your mindset. If you think that, okay, well, this person's going to help me get to Success Club, I want to stop you there. I want you to stop focusing on Success Club 5. I want you to get back to why you got started and how you can help other people. And I promise you, when you do that, you're going to help a whole lot of more people, and your goals are going to be accomplished. Set a goal every single month. This is how many people I want to add to my team. And if you say I want to add 8 people to my team and you add 5, wonderful. That's 5 more people that you didn't have last month. So I think that's really what I do as far as recruiting. It's just showcasing my Facebook and making myself approachable, I guess, and really investing myself into people and not being afraid to invite people. That's just, you got to get out there. You got to invite people, because if you don't, nobody's going to know that you have this opportunities for them as well. Yeah.
When you do, okay, say someone comes to you for help. They want to join one of your challenge groups. They have a weight loss goal or whatever. And they're, so how do I order? Okay. So then what do you tell them?
So I talk about the opportunity with every single person right up front. I tell them, one of the key questions that I ask them is, what are your long-term goals? And so one thing that I've really listened to is 2 ears, 1 mouth. So you really want to listen to what their needs are. And if they tell you, I need to lose 100 pounds or I need to lose 50 pounds, you know that they need to be on Shakeology for more than 30 days. So I'm going to say, Gabri, we've just spent an hour talking about what's important to you and your goals. So I want to talk to you about an opportunity that I have. You can take this as a business opportunity or solely as a discount. And what my hopes are is that you're going to join my team with no pressure. You don't have a quota. There's no selling obligations. But I can tell you that this opportunity, I walked into it just like you, desperate for change. And I found an opportunity to help me become financially free. So every single person that comes to me or I go to, I'm talking about the business opportunity. I'm not waiting until later, because I truly feel that we have an opportunity at our fingertips that is absolutely life-changing. Whether somebody wants to be a discount coach or they want to be a business builder or they want to just do it as a hobby, everyone gets the same opportunity.
So do you have some type of script that you use for this? I mean, obviously you're waiting until the end, until they ask you, how do I join? Or, but then, like I said, do you kind of follow up with the same or end it the same time?
No. So I'll be perfectly honest. I use 0 scripts. I speak from the heart. I feel like every person is going to be different. And if I'm constantly relying on a script, then it's going to be really hard for me to pinpoint those needs. And it just goes back to really listening to their needs. And there are some times where I will lead with the opportunity. Yesterday, I sent out a request way out of my comfort zone. It was someone that I used to work with, and it's a male, and he's in the cellular industry, and he's one of those people that you're drawn to and you just want to talk to all day long. And so he's been really successful in the wireless industry. And so I sent him a message and I said, I hope life is treating you well. I hope you and your wife are doing good. Listen, I have a business opportunity for you. Being the type of person that you are, I think this is something that could really change your life. Let me know if you and your wife would like to have further discussion about what Beachbody could do for you. And I left it up there. And he looked at the message and he hasn't responded. But I will lead with the opportunity if I know that there's somebody that can come in and really blow it up. Because one, I know that this person could benefit from the health aspect of it. I worked in the same industry. We used to call it I forget exactly what we said, but it was like the U.S. Cellular weight gain that everybody got because we lived off Red Bulls and candy bars. And if you weren't on that sales floor, you weren't making money. And so you barely ate. And so I led with the business opportunity. I knew that the leading with and saying, hey, join my next challenge group wasn't going to get his attention. But if I say I have a business opportunity for you to make money, it was, because that's the type of person he is. And he's a really great person that people would be drawn to. So no scripts.
Now, what do you say, like if you had an objection, like, oh, I could never do what you do, or I just want to focus on my, health right now, and I don't want to worry about, even though we understand there's no, obligation to sell anything or there's no quotas or whatever, some people kind of get turned off by that. They think you're trying to just like turn it into, I don't know. I've had people tell me before that they've been turned off by that they just like, no. I just want to be a customer. They're afraid of that word coach. So how do you handle objections like that, or when people are scared to have that label of coach?
Yeah, so I definitely am very respectful of that, and I make sure that I bring it up twice in the conversation, once at the beginning and once at the end. If they're in that zone where, oh no, I can't do that, or I have no desire to do what you do. If they're telling me that they don't think that they can do what I do, I try to relate to them. But if they're telling me they absolutely have no desire to be a coach, they don't care about a discount, they only want to do this, I'm respectful of that and say, you know what, I totally can understand where you're coming from. I just want you to know that this isn't off the table. If you decide down the road that this is something that you want to do, you can actually get your coach fee waived. You would need to get a refund, but you have this opportunity later as well. And if you decide that you just want to get the discount and you're going to keep Shakeology after these first 30 days, you have that option as well.
How often do you follow up then with those people that said, no, I don't want the discount, I'm good? Like, they may be drinking Shakeology for 3 to 6 months. Back at the beginning of my business, I had one who was drinking it for over a year who would not. Mm-hmm. And finally, I just messaged her, and she's a friend of mine. And I said, hey, for business purposes only, this is going to help me and help you at the same time. I promise I'm not going to ask you to sell, but for business purposes only, would you please convert your customer account to a coach account? And she finally did it after a year. And I checked it every month. Every coach should be checking back in with those HD customers every month. How's it going? How do you like this flavor or whatever? Do you need any recipes? Are you drinking it every day? How do you feel? Whatever. But that's just crazy that some people, again, they won't take the discount.
Right. And so I will check in with those people. I post in my challenge group every single month that we have a coach sneak peek. But I'm also not going to beat a dead horse. There's billions of people in the world that I need to continue to move forward with. And I presented this opportunity, and I'll continue to support and check in with these people. But if it's not the right time for them, it's not the right time, and I'm going to move forward.
So how often do you follow back up then? Let's say you asked someone and they said no, and now 3 or 4 months later, they're still drinking Shakeology.
I would say I really gauged it off that individual and their individual success. So if they're really killing it in the challenge group and they're being supportive of other people, I'm going to reach out and say, Gabri, you have been a total rock star. I really appreciate the support that you're showing to everyone. I know that you said no before, but I wanted to check back in and see if you were interested in getting your discount on Shakeology, because I'm not sure if you know, but what you're doing is exactly what I do as a coach, but I'm just reaping the benefits of it. And so I'll do that a few times. I think it just boils down to the individual. If somebody is absolutely off the table, do not ask me or I will quit. Like, I'm not going to
Right.
burden them. I have a lady who's been drinking Shakeology for 2 years. It's my old boss's wife. And like, I just sent her a message the other day and I was like, are you like, you're a 365er now? Like, are you sure you just don't want the discount? Like, you have no obligation, no quota. And she's like, nope, I don't. I'm like, okay, I respect that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. So do you have any systems like in place? Of course you do, because you're successful, and it's the small things we do each day that add to the big things. But as far as like your monthly calendar, I know you're probably checking in probably at the end of the month for those people that are going to ship again the next month. But do you recruit most of your coaches with the initial challenge pack purchase then, or would you say most of them come when you do your follow-ups and after they've already kind of gone through a challenge group?
I would say initially it's with the first sign up. A majority of my coaches, and I would say that's probably about 90%, and then the other 10% are current challengers that convert over.
Okay, and tell me exactly what it is that you say again once they say, great, how do I get the challenge pack? Tell me exactly what it is you say that you follow up with.
I send them, okay, well, my link, and I have a video that I've created, and it's like, hey guys, okay, so I understand that it's a little bit confusing to get set up sometimes, so I want to show you exactly what to do. You're going to log into www, and it's just telling them step by step. But once I have them sign as a coach, or from a challenger to a coach, I have them click be a coach, and then I let them know next steps, which are going to be, I'm going to send you a welcome video. You're going to get a welcome email from myself and from Beachbody. And I'm going to give you the option to go into our team page. And the reason why I started doing an option is I found that people get extremely overwhelmed. I used to add everyone to my uplines page and my uplines page, and I don't do that anymore because I feel like they're getting the same content in mine. And I don't want to put people in a challenge group and then 2 coach pages and then they are quitting. So that's a huge piece of it as well, is we want people to feel comfortable. We want them to have fun, and we want them to feel like they can do this. So there's not really any magic that I do. It's just education and just talking to them the way that I would want to be talked to. And I think back to, a lot of the objections that I have, and it just goes into digging deep. And if it's cost, relate to them and say, for me, I saved my $140 because it wasn't justifiable to me. I didn't see the value in it. Like,
it kind of reminds me of GoPro. If any of you guys have never read GoPro, you definitely need to read it. But it always talks about, kind of relating back to how, to, like you said, 2 ears, one mouth, listening. And that's something I've definitely had to work on because, I like to talk and share and, I get excited. But as I have improved my listening skills over this last couple of years, actually thinking about what they're saying and having a response. And it's mainly, you can always relate. And you say, I know how you feel. I felt the same way too. This is what I, felt. But now I can see, or I can tell, or I found out that, so always being a good listener and relating it back to some kind of situation that you've been in before too, so they know that they're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And follow-up, guys. Follow-up is so important. Just because somebody tells you no doesn't mean that it's no forever. It just means not right now. And so what do I mean by that? If you're not consistent in your postings and you are somebody who posts, every now and then when you feel like it, but then I have Gabri over here who's consistent and she's posting 5 times a day and we're friends. Guess what? That person's probably going to go to Gabri because they see that they have someone who's going to be consistent. 2, if you're not following up with people, they don't know that they're still a value, right? If somebody tells me no and then I never ask them again, they might be thinking in their head, okay, she never even really gave a crap about me. She just wanted to make a sale off of me. And so it took my coach, I think she asked me like 13 times before I finally said yes.
Me too. I think I joined in March and I didn't get Shakeology or do the coaching until November. of that.
Yeah, I was her free customer for a year and a half because I had purchased Insanity off of an infomercial. And then I would ask her a bazillion questions, and then I would say, okay, I'm going to get a 7-day trial pack. And then I wouldn't do it. And then I ended up buying it from someone local and hating it, and then ordering Shakeology like a year later from her. So
it's true what you say about the no's too. I mean, you got to keep checking back in. And if you truly care, you're not going to forget. I mean, it might be a month or a couple of weeks before you do follow back up or check back in. But that little person, you know, you've got a list going, memory jogger, or if you like pen and paper, whatever, you're going to need to, you know, follow up with them. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, thank you for, you know, you knew that I wanted this, and thank you for following up with me and pushing me to do this. This is the best decision I've ever made. It's changed my life. And then that's when you feel like, oh, yay, okay. If there's ever a shadow of a doubt in your mind that what you're doing, if you're trying to make someone do, you know, if you feel like they're not ready, then, you know, that's cool. They're not ready now, but maybe they will be later. It should never feel like sales, though. If really in your heart you believe in what you're doing and you believe it's going to give someone a better quality of life or better future, then how could you feel, you know, weird, awkward, afraid to share it? Like, I honestly, in the beginning of this business, I was doing it all wrong, and I did kind of feel like a salesperson, and that's kind of when I would go and get burned out and stop and start, and I was inconsistent. But you're right, people notice that, and people quit coming to me. If you think you can take a break from this business, it's not hard. It's the small things. It's not hard. But if you think, oh, I'm kind of feeling burnt out, I'm just going to chill for a few months, I'm not going to run challenge groups, you're right. That person is going to see that, and they're not going to come back to you later. You're taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. So stay in it, be consistent, follow up, have systems. Like right now, I'm putting my April calendar, what's today, the 24th? We got 1 week left in the month. I'm putting my April calendar together today, because what I'm going to do next month, it all starts now. Like, I'm already going and looking at my list of people that said no and commenting and liking and starting up those conversations again, because I want to give them time. I want it to be on their terms. I don't know if that made sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. And that takes me to the work that we're doing now is in January or in October, November, December, which are notoriously slow months in any type of sales industry. The work we do now and those no's, those are all follow-ups for those months as well. The last thing that I want to leave you guys with, though, is battling your objections publicly. This has been something that has been huge for my business. So I know all the time we hear people talk about, is Shakeology expensive? Can I drink Shakeology while I'm breastfeeding? Is Shakeology just for women? Do you really get results at home? I can't afford it. Those are all objections that we hear every single day. And so why not combat those publicly? When you're able to address the questions that people have on an open platform, and maybe it's someone you've never even thought of, and they're thinking, oh, wow, she just totally answered the question for me. I can tell you guys that has really turned my business around as well. That has really turned my business around, as well as being able to combat those objections publicly is huge. And I've been teaching that to people, and people that aren't even on my team. I've had people at the Success Club trip come up to me and they're like, I watched your video. Oh my God, I feel so much more confident. And it's because you're helping add value. And you're just relating to people and saying, I get that this is an issue for you. It was an issue for me too. Here's why it's not an issue, and we're creating this scenario in our head. So I hope that this added value to you guys. It's not super complicated. Dumb it down. Think about how you would want to be treated, and take the sales part out of it. Yes, at the end of the day, we do have a product for sale, but you're not selling the product. You're selling yourself. You're selling your story. You're building relationships. And when you do that, everything else comes together. Offer the opportunity right up front. Let people know that they have an opportunity to do anything that they want. Christina Delgado said something that really struck a chord with me, is that we can all be millionaires if we want, but you have to work for it.
Exactly.
So you need to make a decision today what you want for your business. Do you want to be a diamond? Do you want to be a 5-star? Do you want to push for Premier or Elite? Do you want to walk away from your job? What are those goals? Set them down, write them down, put them out into the universe, and share them with people, because I guarantee you there's other people in your newsfeed and in your life that want that too, and they don't know how to do it. Because I can tell you, I was desperate for change. I thought that I would be at the same job forever. We would be in the same hamster wheel chasing that paycheck every 2 weeks, every winter when my husband was laid off.
There's a good post right there. And if you think you've said it before and you don't want to say, well, I posted something like that a month ago. A month ago, I mean, yeah, like, how do you know who saw it and who did it and whatever? Like, recycle your stories too. Sometimes I will just kind of copy and paste and change a few words here and there, put a different picture with it, but it's basically like the same story. And remember, too, something I've had to change this year is I've not been, Bonnie Ingalls said, the sprinkle. Usually my sprinkle was about challenge groups and not the coaching opportunity. And so I've had to kind of readjust when I'm typing something, going, okay, am I trying to recruit new challengers here or new coaches? And Laura, I lost my thought here. Oh, and you're frozen. You still there? You're frozen. No, Melissa, you're frozen.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh,
can you hear me?
You were like, but the thing you have to remember is that if you don't ask, the answer, and so I tell my kids all the time, the answer is always going to be no. I think that's why they have the audacity to come up and ask me all these random things. Like last night, Isabel was like, Mommy, can we stay up and watch a movie? It's like 8:30. It's bedtime. I'm like, no, it's a school night. It's Wednesday. And she's like, well, we don't have school on Friday. So it's kind of like Friday Eve. Let's celebrate. I'm like, oh God. So, why not ask? All I can say is, all they can say is no. And no is not no forever. Maybe, it's just no for right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me to talk about this. This has definitely been a topic that I've really had to learn a lot about this year. And it doesn't, some people come in, right? But it's all about personal development, growing yourself, and trying to, any of the things that I've talked about on the call today, or Gabri said on the call today, don't work for you, try something different. Like, that's the beauty of the business. It's yours and you get to be unique. And anything that you want to do is not off the table. So I hope that you guys go out and achieve those goals that you have set out, because the only thing that's standing in your way is you. And if you feel like you've run out of people, go back to what I said. Go outside your market. There's billions of people in the world. Billions.
I never forget what Amy Silverman said on that call. It just stuck in my head. Get out of your own way. She said it so many times.
Yep.
I tell myself that too. Get out of your own way, because it's true. You're the only thing that's stopping you from achieving your goals. Thank you so much, Melissa, for your time today. And that was just an awesome call. Lots of great nuggets of information. And remember, now it's up to you to put it into action. All right.
Awesome.